This isn't the first video we've made on Kevin Durant. It certainly won't be the last video we've made on Kevin Durant. Unfortunately, it seemed like once again, one of the greatest players in our league and one of the greatest scorers in NBA history got sucked in for a horrific trap. Now, before we get to the content, I want to let you guys know we're making a huge push on TikTok, so make sure you guys are followed over there. And of course, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. This video is sponsored by DraftKings. Hoops fans, the latest offer from the DraftKings Sportsbook is just way too good to pass up. New customers can bet just $5 on any team and get up to $150 in free bets if they win. Which, if you're doing the advanced calculus in your head, that's 30-to-1 odds on your $5, which isn't being offered anywhere else. In addition to this, DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet on games using same-game parlays, which combines multiple bets in the same game for a significantly bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you earn. And the best part is, if you think that's already a little too complicated, DraftKings already has same game parlays for you to bet on. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use my promo code TheFlightmike, bet $5 on any team, and get $150 in free bets if they win. That's promo code TheFlightmike at DraftKings Sportsbook, and thank you, DraftKings, for today's sponsorship. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? If you are no stranger to Kevin Durant, at least not necessarily Kevin Durant the player, but Kevin Durant the media personality, he has always been notorious for the fact that he really enjoys tweeting with people that could potentially bring him down. I mean, the tried and true formula of being able to handle the media, at least in the early to late 2000s, prior to social media ever being a thing, was just simply ignoring it. Don't turn on ESPN, don't listen to them. And honestly, back then it was a little bit easier. Back then, all you had to do was ignore a channel and not read the newspaper, and you could stay completely oblivious as to what people are saying about you, and it's not consistently in your face all the time. But in today's day and age, when your cell phone is consistently notifying you of what people are saying about you, on top of them being on the television, the internet, podcasts, Instagram, Twitter, it is damn near impossible to run away from it. And although there are a select few individuals that are really freaking good at tuning all that out and not giving it the light of day, I'm looking at you, LeBron James. He had Skip Bayless practically create a career off of hating on him. There are a select few individuals like Kevin Durant who unfortunately fall into the age-old trap of, well, the media trying to get a response out of him. A popular example of this is about a year ago, Kevin Durant called out Shannon Sharpe for a fake quote. And the wild part is he called out Shannon Sharpe for a compliment that Shannon Sharpe gave him. Now, to defend Kevin Durant, obviously, if this isn't something that he didn't say, then I could understand why it would bother him so much, because this was originally over the fact that Shannon Sharpe got duped into thinking this was a real quote, believing that Kevin Durant said, "People tried to discredit my rings, but honestly, I feel like they're the most valuable of our era. People argue that LeBron James is the GOAT, but if I beat him in back-to-back finals, then what does that make me?" I mean, Ballsack Sports created an entire brand based off of this and was even followed by Kevin Durant for quite some time until he decided to stop creating this content so he could pursue activism. Now, KD back then said Shannon went on TV responding to this quote like I actually said this. Gullible fans will believe it or say you was thinking this anyway. It's comedy at this point. The day before, he would call out Shannon Sharpe and say that your drunk uncle is out here lying again. When did I say this at Shannon Sharpe? And then this all ended with Shannon Sharpe blocking Kevin Durant and saying that you guys remember the fake account when KD said, "Now everybody wants to go play for the Heat and the Lakers. Let's go back to being competitive and going at these peoples." Then joins the 73-9 Warriors and builds builds the Nets into a superpower with Kyrie and Harden. OMG. Man, the way that tweet aged is absolutely hysterical because on paper there was supposed to be a super team, but it didn't end up work out that way. We have a separate video on that. But anyways, I wanted to give you guys a background. Kevin Durant responded to this saying, "Old Shannon refuses to respond to me. Why are you using your platform to push fake quotes about me?" And then Shannon tried to take this off of social media, and then obviously he would block him eventually. The reason I'm bringing this up is I guess Kevin Durant, now that he's no longer in the playoffs, was once again out for blood. So there was a first take clip featuring Amari Stoudemire, Chris Mad Dog Russo, and Stephen A. Smith, where they just repeated an age-old boring narrative that honestly just makes me want to roll my eyes about how Steph Curry may have ruined the game. No, actually, Steph Curry changed basketball for the better.
It's Mike D'Antoni. He knows that. He played for Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni wanted you to shoot threes or layups. He didn't want no mid-range game. He would consider benching you if you took a mid-range shot. Am I lying?
Stephen A. Smith does say a lot of stupid shit on First Take. I will admit that. But no, this is actually very valuable basketball information. Yes, Mike D'Antoni is responsible for at least transitioning into the increased pace that we are currently seeing the Golden State Warriors run right now. Don't get me wrong, the Showtime Lakers also tried to push the pace, but Mike D'Antoni was the individual that said, hey, you should be trying to shoot threes as soon as possible and don't play so much defense, which the Warriors play phenomenal defense.
My brother, the guy I love so much, that I believe is the greatest player to have ever played, Michael Jordan, is responsible as much as anybody for changing the game for the worse. When you consider you. Stay with me on this.
I'm having trouble staying with Stephen A. Smith at this point, but just so we could understand the context of the Kevin Durant bait that was taken, I'll continue for a few more seconds.
This is throwing no shade on Michael Jordan, of course. He's the greatest ever in my estimation, number one, all right? But he was so phenomenal that the NBA marketed the individual, the audience gravitated towards the individual, and the game became a bit more individualized because people wanted to be like Mike. Before Mike, you had Bird and Magic.
I think this is one of those instances where Stephen A. Smith is running out of stuff to talk about. So instead of saying the boring narrative that Steph Curry ruined the game of basketball, he's coming out and saying that Michael Jordan individualized the game of basketball, which kind of drives me crazy because the NBA has always been a star-driven league. I mean, prior to Michael Jordan, you did have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who had offenses built around him until Magic Johnson came in, and he created a reputation for himself primarily for sharing the basketball and creating for his teammates. And each of the greats of NBA history did it in their own way. I mean, before Magic Johnson, we had Kareem, and Magic Johnson was something like we've never seen before. Then Michael Jordan came in, and he was one of the most remarkable athletic scorers that we've ever seen in NBA history. His game was replicated by the likes of Kobe Bryant. And then we had LeBron James, an athletic freak of nature who should be just a regular power forward in the NBA that could do literally everything to this day currently. And that's what makes the NBA so awesome. You have great players coming in and doing things their way that completely alters the way basketball is being played. Obviously, I forgot some people there, but this is where things get interesting because Kevin Durant comes completely out of left field and says, my theory is that guys like Steve, Skip, and Shannon have changed the game for the worse. Players like Steven and Michael can only push the game forward. So what I'm thinking that Kevin Durant is saying is Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, and Shannon Sharpe changed basketball media and basketball analysis for way worse. And unfortunately, the state of how basketball analysis is currently, it just pull some crazy bold take out of your ass and see who responds to it the most, which will push it further in the algorithm. And in a sense, Kevin Durant is right. But what's funny is the aftermath of all of this. He starts going on to a tweeting frenzy. Someone asks KD, honest question, are there any NBA journalists whose takes you respect? Who should we be following for solid basketball commentary? And what's really ironic is that Kevin Durant ironically didn't offer any solution to the problem. He just said, no, it just sucks. There's nothing you could do. His response was, watch the games on mute and think for yourself. That always helps. And then KD also continues to say that the take take was beyond insane, damaging to the sport of basketball, which is essentially Kevin Durant once again taking the bait of national media. They just want you to respond to this so all of these individuals could get clout. But I don't understand. Kevin Durant still doesn't get that. He doesn't understand by doing this, he is helping Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, which the latter two aren't even in this video, mind you, reach the next level. As a matter of fact, Stephen A. Smith's response was, "News for you, Kevin Durant. We ain't going any damn place. For every @Stephen A. Smith, Skip, and Shannon, and others, there's thousands more coming down the pike. We're not going away. We multiply. Sorry." What's wild about this is the fact that First Take is trending on Twitter as a result of this. And in addition to this, Shannon Sharpe, which this is the tweet that got the most engagement out of his most recent tweets, said what I was literally thinking. I took a nap after work like I always do. I wake up and I'm trending. I read something about Kevin Durant said regarding me and Stephen A. Smith. What did I say or do? I'm confused. What did Stephen A. Smith say? And why am I catching strays because of it? So I don't know. Maybe you guys don't agree with my take. Or maybe Kevin Durant doesn't realize that beefing with Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharpe, and Skip Bayless is literally giving these individuals clout. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.